And let's go, we are live. Welcome guys to the live stream. Today we are discussing the Malayalam film 2018, as I'm always corrected. And today we have two guests on the panel. First, Manoj Matthew, not Matthews, you know him. He's been on the channel before, the favorite Malayali of all time. You guys love him, and he's here to talk about the film. You can always follow him on Twitter for his amazing, tweets, which are very, very funny. You laugh a lot, and his, mostly RCB kind of stuff. Which, okay, anyways, moving on to another guest. She has been here before for a Malayalam movie itself, and we have Vasundhara Ghosh, and she has an amazing Instagram handle called Gangs of Senepur, which some big directors and actors follow, and they get blessed when she talks about their film. That's how amazing write-up she has there. So definitely check it out. I'll put the links in the description. Welcome guys, welcome to the stream.
Thank you.
Hello, Nona.
I hope.
I think this is my second or third time here.
Yeah, one we did for Joji, I definitely remember.
Another one was for Mara.
Charlie versus
Mara.
Mara. Charlie versus Mara, yes.
Yeah.
Those were the days. Anyways, guys, today, before that, hit that like button, share, go check out their profiles, follow them, and let's talk about this amazing film we saw recently, 2018. And you can,
I just have to say, people don't have to check my profile. That's nothing.
I was gonna say, you don't even have a DP, dude. At least have a DP. So let's begin. It's a spoiler discussion. So if you haven't seen the movie, please. I don't know. If you've seen the news, maybe not. I don't know.
Go and watch it in 2 minutes and come back.
By the time you go watch the film and come back, the live will still be there. You can always watch the replay. But let's start talking about it. And I think the first thing, let's go with our overview so everyone get to know where we are with the film. And first, I'll start with Manoj because he has seen it twice and he's our in-house Malayali here. So,
yeah. So when I heard about this movie itself, I was damn excited because this was something that happened. It was something disastrous that happened to all of us in Kerala when this happened, and it came out of nowhere almost. For most ordinary people, it came out of nowhere. Every year we get floods. Every year, especially I remember when I was in school, there always used to be 1 or 2 weeks of holidays we used to get, and that was a moment of happiness. It was oh, now there's no school. It was always that kind of happy thing. But when 2018 that year came, it just took us all by storm, and what happened in those 1 to 2 months was absolutely devastating. But you heard of these stories a lot. I thankfully was living in a place where water didn't enter. But I had in my place there were many relief camps all set up, so you could hear all of these stories around you. You could see videos, you could see like social media was on a different level. People were passing information. You had it was almost control centers were set up in social medias. That's how people were connecting to different people and stuff people were saying, we need food over here, we need clothes over here, we need medicine over here. These people are trapped over here, we need to get some rescue here. It was devastating, but just seeing that humanity was amazing. And we got to experience it when I was living there. So to translate that to the big screen was something that I always thought was, and first of all, it would be a momentous task to do that. But just the idea of this movie, when I heard it, I was man, I didn't expect them to make a movie so soon. But they actually did it, and they were planning this from 2000 to almost 2019, I think. So that made me think oh man, so soon they were planning for a movie like this. So when I first went to watch it, so I had not even watched the trailer because I was there's no point of me watching the trailer. I'm already into it. I had already decided I would go in for the movie. So when I first watched it, I was I kind of know what's going to happen. So I was sitting there, but still it got me. Still it got me on those big moments. And that made me this was in recent times, one of the few movies when it ended, the moment the credits came, I was definitely going to watch it again in theaters. And that's what I did in the weekend. I went in again, watched it again because I wanted to because I think when I first watched it, I was so overwhelmed with emotion. So I wanted to watch it again. And so that's why I watched it the second time. And I'm not saying it's a perfect movie, okay? And there are some criticisms, and I'm sure we'll get to all that. And I think people are right in some of the criticisms, but the highs are so damn high in this movie that, I don't really the criticisms are there, but it's not a perfect movie, but still, for me, it's an amazing watch. For me, it's it's an experience that I feel everyone should have. That's how I view this movie as. So that's my sort of overview thoughts.
Before we go to Basundra, first of all, Shelly Lee, thank you for becoming a member, and thank you for giving out 20 free memberships. So everyone, all the members, say thank you to her and thank you for that donation. Amazing. Thank you all that. And I hope you get to see the movie. It's not out in US near you, but I hope you get to watch it. Now coming to Basundra, guys, you can check out her piece she has written on Insta. I have put the link in the description.
So I have watched it only once. I will surely catch it again when it comes on OTT. Obviously, that won't be the same as the big screen experience. I'm glad I went for it, and which is fortunate because it's not really playing in all the major cities even, and we need subtitles. So that is a big factor. I took so much time to process what I just witnessed yesterday. It took me like a couple of hours before I could write something on the movie. So obviously when this flood and all happened, I was studying abroad that time, and I was quite far away from my country, and I was just catching up with the news. But something similar that I have witnessed after coming back to India, more close to home, was the same kind of, collective effort that was going on during COVID times. People rushing for, oxygen cylinders and hospital beds and medicines and all. So I understand the sentiment, what brings people together, and I think that is incredible. And to make a movie on something like that, where especially, where there are so many subplots, and you cannot leave anything on with a loose end, right? You have to tie everything together. You have to make all the stories feel significant. And you also don't have enough time to develop all the characters. So that's what I think Nona also said in his review, that this thing is very tricky. It could go wrong. And obviously to portray the whole thing with VFX and all, because I don't have much examples from Indian cinema about survival dramas and thrillers and all, and those are usually one location things, like if you see Helen, or if you see Mala and Kunye, or I don't know, these are the two examples I can think. Even Trapped, Vikramaditya Mohan is Trapped. But flood related movies, I can of course remember Kedarnath, and there was this Imran Hashmi movie called Tum Mile, which I remember really because of songs even now. Wonderful songs. But the theme of those movies were very different. Like, they were romance-oriented movies, so you focused only on two people and what is happening between them and around. But this is so difficult to pull off, and it's not even a super long movie. It's like it has 2018 has a runtime of what?
150 minutes, 2.5 hours.
2:30.
So, for something like that, this to pull off with so many characters, so much going on, and going from one place to another, showing different water levels, I wouldn't imagine doing this. Like, the editing is also so crisp. That's what I want to mention. That I wouldn't expect something like this to be less than 3 hours. You're doing it on a grand scale. But some scenes were pretty long, which I understand the helicopter lift scene, for example. It was quite elaborate, and because it was meant also to highlight, Tovino's ex-army man characteristic, that he did get the salute in the end, even though he had quit the army. So those things were required, and obviously some subplots, they were building up the emotions so intensely, like the parents with the differently able child. So those things really needed to be highlighted. Also the fishermen coming to the rescue. So I think they really put forward what was needed to be put forward in the best way possible. And again, as Nona mentioned, some things were not really in place, like the tour guide and the foreign couple. That was...
We'll come to that.
Because they did not... I think the casting with the actors was really wrong. So they could have avoided the cringe part if they had casted that well. Otherwise, that subplot also made sense, I would say. But the whole fact that that couple were so like naively going around, not understanding the gravity of the situation, that was quite weird, to be honest. But overall, obviously, as Manoj also said, the highs are so high, you can overlook all these things and, you know, at least acknowledge that the heart is in the right place, and that's what matters the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one thing, am I the only guy who felt that the Polish guy, especially the guy, his dubbing was a little off? Like something was wrong
What
with his
is
dialogue.
dubbing or
Delivery.
that's how the thing, I don't know.
I think, okay, we'll come
They're super
to that.
annoying.
We'll come to that.
Yeah.
But guys, you can let us know if any questions or something particular you want to talk about in the chat. Let us know. We'll talk about that. But for me, you know, I didn't mention this in my review that I don't remember this event as, oh my god, event. You know, I'm not someone who, you know, always very up to with the news. I just heard, yeah, there were floods in Kerala in 2018, and I was, you know, busy with my own world of, you know, I was in college, so I don't remember. I know flood happened, you know, it was a big disaster, but that's it. You move on, you know, because it doesn't affect you, it doesn't touch you.
That's what they say at the beginning of the movie,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's what they write.
I
It's like calamity or catastrophe is news unless it affects you.
Yeah. I think the way they start the film is very, it gives you what they're trying to show you. That, and I think that's where even the foreign guy comes in, that, you know, people are thinking, oh, it's just another normal thing that happens. It's fine until it's not fine. And I think that the idea, what I felt was, you know, to make this film move you in an epic proportion, you know, to overwhelm you. They went for that. They didn't go for a very realistic and, you know, a subtle way of telling, you know, what people went through. And you know, and there have been examples in Malayalam cinema itself. You know, we have a movie called Traffic, which is about, you know, an organ being transporting.
I have seen the remake of it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the original one.
I would say both the films is fine,
It's a
but story is
Hollywoodish treatment.
interesting. Yeah, story is interesting. Then we have Virus. I think that's one of the outstanding ones, and a lot of you talked about in other regions also. So, you know, you have that idea, and I knowing that they can pull this off. They have the, you know, merit to pull this kind of off because they have a past of, you know, doing such films. And
Yeah, but Virus didn't need to be so VFX heavy
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like technically.
Right.
Yeah. It
whereas
was
this one
Traffic.
went for that, you know, that epic proportion, that how much happened, and then, you know, not knowing what really happened and watching it, oh my god, all this happened, and how, you know, it just went on, and it's just scary. You have to think about that, you know. And I love that, you know, we see the gradual increase of water. Suddenly a house, you feel the strongest, you know, the safest, you know, even if the floods are coming, I'll stay in my house. And then we see that water rising and destroying the house slowly, and at the end with the couple and their kid, they're at the roof, like they're stuck in their own house. That is so haunting.
And
what
we
can really
spend
happen?
so much time in the first half in that house in the normal state.
Yeah.
So just see that, you know, and that I noticed it more in the second time I watched. But yeah, go ahead.
So, you know, I love, it's like, you know, it's very easy, it's a very fine line to use this tragedy just to make a film and make money. It's very easy, and you can tell that in the intention. You can see that in films, but here it's not at all that. It's to show you what really happened, what people faced. And I think I talked about in my review also that they needed their time to build all these characters up. We spend the time, we feel for them, we understand what they are in their life, which stage they are in, what they care about, what they don't care about, and all of that. And of course, the balancing of everything cannot be there. With every character you get more and more, there has to be some priority, but whatever you got, it makes a good setup to what comes later, you know. And that really works. And I think visually, just to think how they pulled it off, I'm blown away. Like I don't know, I don't have words to say. You know, it is so polished. You know, some films do attempt something big, I've seen them, and I can tell, okay, execution wise things didn't pull off, but at least they tried. But this was like perfect execution. At no point I can say this film is, you know, lower than, I don't expect much from the visuals, at least they try to tell. No, it's a perfect film, you know, from the start to the end. And that's what I loved about it the most. But before moving to all the good stuff you want to talk about, let's talk about what we didn't like or didn't enjoy much, and coming to that foreign couple. I was, I think what you said, right, that they were trying to show that people are so not thinking at all what's really happening around them. But
No,
See,
but
it was
these
also
people too, even until the end, they were like, no, where is the boat race? Come on. Then they're preparing the coconut milk.
I think it was just to show that tourism thing also happened. Like, because Kerala is pretty known for tourism. So they wanted to show like, okay, there is also foreigners stuck in this thing. It was just a way of representing that. And I honestly think that the actress who played the wife was a much better cast than the husband. And if you even notice, I think even the director probably realized that, because towards the second half, the guy has no dialogues. Like, he only has one dialogue in the end where he says, "Thank you, Koshi," in the airport. He completely cut those. I think he just moved the focus more to the wife, because the wife is a much better actress. So it was for me, it was more of Aju Varghese's perspective than the, because he's just trying to like take them on a ride. He's like, okay, we will go somewhere, and then for him it's slowly dawning on him that, oh my god, what do I do with these people? Like that phone call which he calls his wife quickly when he sees a flex board just go off, because that's when he knows, okay, something's not right this time.
Yeah.
He calls his wife. For me, it was that perspective that really worked, because that worked. This was okay, but it will be a problem when I think foreign nationals watch this movie. They'll be like, oh, what is this?
It's a mockery.
I know maybe they were just trying to go for oh, he's a vlogger kind of stereotype. What they do to keep, they all just to keep talking like that.
They should
Yeah.
Or
just
maybe
get Nona to play the
they
role,
just
I think.
or maybe they just got some foreign guy there come act.
Yeah, you could have a tourist from North India, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm open
Missed
for such things
opportunity.
in future if anyone's watching.
Missed opportunity, Nona.
But other than that, what all things that didn't work for you? If there are.
For me, like when I first watched it, the whole story with the Tamil character and him transporting the bombs was something which that was like every other story that you saw in the movie, right? Whether it was a pregnant lady being lifted off, that actually happened. All of us, like the visuals kept floating around. There was no like Tovino, like there was no military person, as far as I know, like an ex-military like carrying. But there was a pregnant lady that was actually airlifted. That visual was like spread everywhere, and there were people stuck in their homes, like water deep. Fishermen's coming in to rescue was a big moment in the whole thing. And in real life also, it was a big, there was even a video. I think the director even said this, that all the lorries going with the boat behind, there was actually a real video like that, and someone put a Bahubali music that time. And people got so hyped like in real life, and that was like a daylight shot when they saw all the trucks going. So there were all those moments happen. This was something which it like the transporting bombs stuff. I just felt like when I watched it second time, I was again a little bit more palpable towards it. But when I first watched it, it stood out a little bit like a sore thumb to me, because I was like, this seems a little out of grounded. I mean, it's not like it can't happen. It can obviously happen, but it just didn't like sit really well with me. I do like the arc, the whole thing, especially him with Vineeth's character, the whole interaction and everything. I think that's all great. And when I watched it the second time, I was okay with that. But when I watched it the first time, that it was not really great. I mean, it does show the influence of other states, how they saw Kerala in a small way, like how, but it didn't really sit well with me. Second time watching, I was again okay with it, because I knew what to expect. But when I first watched it, I was not a huge fan of that. That was one. The second one was the whole government, the view from the government, like the way they showed the chief minister and everything. For me, that was something that, I agree with the director. Like, he even said in an interview that, that part of the story is not that exciting and not that interesting. So that's why he didn't focus too much on what the government did and how they sort of executed their plans for rescue. But having said that, the scene which they showed, like the chief minister, is just like, namal endu cheyodu, like what do we do now? And and you had like the worst actress, the police chief, who's like holding his hands. It became more obvious in the second time. He was like, all the roofs are made with tiles. Like, I was like, dude, just say it properly. Like, but like, putting that acting performance aside, like, I feel like it felt like a very half-hearted attempt to show that. I feel like it would have been better off by not showing that. Maybe you could have just had information being passed. through like radios or something like that, that, government is doing this, that we have a helicopter being sent. That would have been better than actually even showing a chief minister. For me, these were the two things, and this is a small nitpick. The VFX in the first sea thing was a little like
Boat
it was
rescue.
not bad.
Yeah.
Boat rescue. It was not bad. Like it was still decently done. But some of the backgrounds, like when they're sitting and so, like especially when they're like crying in the boat, you can kind of tell that okay, it's a green screen.
I think
background.
it was flawed because if the sea is moving so much, the boat just doesn't do this.
Right. So
You just keep moving, so
true.
the performance
I
of
was
the
afraid when he was
actors,
trying to stand on the boat.
Yeah.
I was thinking, how can he even think of doing that?
That is true.
Going to topple.
That one, that was the only visual thing that didn't really work. Everything else really worked.
Maybe
Was the
that
only
part was
visual
done
part.
by somebody else.
No, they apparently I saw an interview with the art director, so they were not very sure how to do it. Then in the end, they did it in the same tank. They had constructed a huge tank where they put the whole film set. So in the end they did it there itself. But I think they probably because that was a very ambitious sequence. Like that was like very very ambitious. Like you even have a ship coming. The CG of the ship looked pretty decent to me, but you have a ship coming. You have so much wind, and on top of that, you have Lal coming in the other boat, and then him swimming. So it was a very ambitious sequence, and I think they're sort of touching that sequence more up for the OTT release is what I heard. So I think it might look better in OTT, but for now it was not even bad. It was just a little bit.
I also felt it went on for too long for us to start poking holes.
That is the first time I watched it. I felt like it was going too long. Second time I watched, I don't know, it's actually color. So maybe when it was the second time, you might feel it.
It is really important to watch the thing. I think that sequence was to also establish the fact that this it's kind of a normal thing for fishermen to be in that kind. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a bit extreme because they went missing and all.
Yeah.
But it was to develop the whole idea that they are the people who can actually come in the scene and do something.
True.
Because as the priest said that they are used to this.
Yeah.
So,
Kind of a foreshadowing.
Right.
Manoj
Yeah.
audio is glitching. It's fine, guys. It's raining, I guess.
No, it's not raining.
His voice is like that only. He's a little ill, guys, so just...
Yeah, maybe that's the reason.
the tree blocking scene in the dam also is real. Boat rescue scene could have been... It was unnecessary. I know one of my Punjabi friends who was in Kerala during the floods. True story, okay? Alright. I also didn't enjoy a lot of the team working on with in Kunchacko Boban's arc. It was very like fine, we'll just stand here, then we'll move here. It's like I don't see any action really happening there.
no,
Like-
there was some internal conflict there, which was
Yeah,
also kind
yeah.
of just for the sake of it. Like
Yeah, very
the senior
villainous. You don't talk to me, ego,
yeah.
and
No,
it just
there was
went a little off.
definitely there was definitely like miscommunication in terms of because it was raining so heavily and the water levels kept rising even in real life. So there was definitely like when do we open the dams when it's getting full and all of that. So they wanted to show that conflict in a small way. I think that was a whole interaction between Kunchacko and I don't remember the other actor's name. Like between that actor was I think kind of symbolizing that, and they wanted to put that also into this thing. For me, that worked. But like when Kunchacko Boban's house gets destroyed and he sees it on TV,
Yeah.
that was a heartbreaking moment. Okay. But like there was this thing that the TV reporter and that is just adding to it. Like he's like, oh my god, if the owner of the house is watching, he will be absolutely. I'm like, dude, just he's already like I felt like that was like more piling on. That was a little unnecessary. And he kept on piling on. He kept on saying that in the backdrop. So, but
Look, it's years of hard work. It's all
that was. I'm like, we know that. We know that it's like, and Kunchacko Boban's expression said all that. His one shot of eyes just staring up and that shock, that said everything that we wanted to know. And so you didn't need that reporter to keep saying all this and kept on saying it, like almost like he is watching it, like the owner is watching it. So that was also one. It's again nitpicks. It's small nitpicks only. So.
Yeah, these we can pick out many.
Yeah.
But I don't have any major complaints as such, apart from that subplot. Because, again, I think I need to watch another time to point out something serious. But VFX wise also, I didn't notice so well.
I think I was
Everything was fine.
talking to the editor of the film, and we may, guys, I'm talking to him. We may have a session where he breaks down how he edited the film. I asked him which is the most difficult scene to edit, and he said the helicopter one, because there's too many shots there, and to decide how to tell the narrative through that. That was, yeah.
The helicopter shot, I felt the VFX was very clean.
Yeah.
Like it was done very well. Like the way there was never a moment.
I just felt there should have been more light on them, like the spotlight. I felt it was a little low. Considering how loud it was.
I think it was maybe dark by like design, because like maybe they were like
to make it seamless, maybe.
Seamless. I think that was probably the intention.
Someone said, there was one scene that happened in real they didn't include in the movie. I'm sure there are so many.
There were many.
It's not easy to include everything. But I think it should not become also okay, this things happened, so I'll assign this character to do these things.
It should not be a compilation of moments, right?
Okay, this character is now here, and then he saved that also. It should feel natural that where he's going to save people and everything. They should have included one scene where rescue personnel newborn baby in his hand running across a bridge. Okay, iconic shot. I think it's
that was also there. But I think he tried to do whatever he could. Like I think there was a baby in the last, like that landslide when Asif Ali goes there. He is handed a baby, if I remember correctly, in that one shot. So
it's not a baby, but it's like a small 2-year-old. Yeah.
Maybe they were like trying to say like we're symbolizing that scene with this. Like,
I did feel because again it's about balancing the narratives. It's about the flood. Not about getting deep into every character. So some of the things do feel surface level. Even if you go for Tovino's, right? Oh, he's not gone military and thinks he's coward, and then he proves that, and it's over. The conflict is over. Then for even Asif Ali's character, that didn't happen. This happened. Then he saw it. So it's like if it was just about that. That's why I talked about the alternative ways to tell the story. We can always think about that. If just the story was just focused on one character, one family, and what they went through. So I think it depends on what they were trying to go, and I think they were clearly trying to show the heroics of people and put that in front. At many moments I did feel maybe I wanted to see more casualty to like you're trying to save someone, maybe you couldn't save, but then it happened with Lal's character.
It happened in the end.
Lal's character, it happened, and then when Tovino saved the kid, right, I thought maybe the kid died, that would have been oh my god moment, but he came back, and then
he had to emerge as a hero and then a martyr. So he saved whoever he could, and then
that was watching it. I was like, he goes in, and then Indrans' character, the blind guy, comes out, right? And I'm like, I'm waiting. Like, wait, what?
Yeah,
where's he?
What?
and I'm like, I'm shouting at the character, "Arey, go call Tovino is inside." and then they don't show
one shot. Yeah, they even put one shot of the water after like Indrans' character's up. They even show one shot of the water.
Yeah, you get a top angle, and we see that he's not come out.
They're like, now he'll come out. Like that way, they even put, and they like 5 seconds they linger. Then they cut to the umbrella like floating, and like, oh shit, he's gone. Like watching it the second time was more devastating because it's going to come, right? So like when I first watched, I'm like, okay, now the fishboat rescue scene, that's the high. After that, I'm like, okay, now the military rescue, helicopter rescue, that's the high. After that scene, I was like, shit, now the death is going to come, and I was like, should I walk out because I know what's going to happen?
It was like and they didn't show anything, right? So I felt maybe they will he come back? And then when we go back to what really happened,
that is heartbreaking, man. And I think in many ways that Anoop's character, Tovino's character, it just personified all those people who went for rescue and laid down their lives for other people. Like, and I think that film, like initially when I first watched, I was like, why did they do that, man? I was like so happy, but that's exactly what it wants you to do. It wants you to show that we came across this, they were like, we are all united, but there are still people who lost their lives, and that impact will always stay with us. And the film smartly does that to you also, because you feel that loss of Anup even when you walk out of the theater.
Yeah.
So that loss is felt in you. So when I was second, I was like, man, that's actually really brilliant. Like, I don't know if they thought that deep. It's just me just reading too much into it. But I just felt that was like really well done. I was like kudos to them for
You
actually
cannot have a
doing that.
perfect happy ending to this kind of story,
Yeah.
then it would be unrealistic, right? Because it's not everyone is a hero, but everyone is not a superhero.
That's true. That's
There's
true.
a difference in that. Even superheroes have died in Avengers.
Yeah. This is not
Multiverse.
Minal Murli.
But also, Tovino in real life also, helped out.
Right.
I think that's why in the interview he said, that he didn't want to do the film first, but it would have felt like, he's trying to show how, what he did and all that time. But he played a very different kind of a character.
So even when he was doing these ground level works in 2018 also, many people actually criticized him, saying that, you're only doing it for
Publicity.
promotions and publicity. And there was like, I think one interview where he just like, not interview, like during that time, he just like, one reporter or something came and he just like, not broke down, but he just like honestly told them that, see, I'm not doing this for anything. Even if you don't watch my movies, it's completely fine. Just let me do this. Let me do this for my people.
That
Like,
time he wasn't very famous also, is it? When was Mayanadi?
Mayanadi was before this, if I remember.
Okay.
correctly.
2017, I guess.
He was fairly well known even then. Like because even I was like very much aware of the star. So he was not as big probably, but he was still a fairly well known.
That was the time when I had started watching Malayalam movies, so I didn't really know him back then. I mean, yeah, I watched him first in Guppy,
Yeah.
Right.
and then Mayanadi.
Manadi was, wow. But
I
anyways,
will rewatch it now.
Still thinking about Anoop. People are crying in the chat.
Man. It was like devastating. And I don't know if you guys noticed this. Maybe you guys noticed it. I feel like I was an idiot for not noticing this the first time I watched it. So when Anoop first comes, right, like, and he's going to search for the kid and his family. So he stops at a church to call his friend, and he just sets the boat there. So then there's a background shot of the cross, and then you can see that lizard there. Like it's there in the background. The lizard is walking slowly. Like that's the same lizard that goes to the kid and like lands. So
No,
it's like
there's
What?
also a poster with the lizard.
yeah, that's also a poster with the lizard. That same lizard.
On Tovino's feet, there's because the poster says 2018, everyone is a hero, and above that there's a picture of a lizard. So the lizard is also unintentional.
Unintentional. Like so that same lizard. So I didn't notice
How
it
did
the
the
first time I
same
watched
lizard
it.
reach there?
I don't know lizard, but I just like the detail.
I know the shot you're talking about. I was thinking why they show behind of Jesus and he's there.
Yeah.
And like they stay there for
Yeah,
some.
I'm
I'm
sure
thinking
it is
maybe there's
intentional.
And
some
the lizard
parallel.
is like going like this. I was like, oh, that's.
I
so
remember
cool.
lizard, but I don't think that. How can that be the same lizard in the house, man?
It maybe it's not the same lizard, but for me it was like symbolizing that this is going to
I have
come.
a
Okay.
question. Can lizards swim?
I don't know if you can say, but
I
I
have
think that was
some
a
in
really
my
nice
house. I'll
detail.
try.
Yeah.
I think all incidents, even the foreigner were real incidents.
It
I'm
was
sure there were some
inspired
foreign
from
tourists that
real
time.
events. And the execution of most real events was done well. Like it was a fictional inspired take, but that the foreigner just at first, like it was also not many. It was like very small sequences of the foreign and that was only in the first half. The second half it was fine. Like I thought, that one small scene between the wife and Tovino, where Tovino's like, "Oh, what's your father's name?" And she's like, "Oh, that's my husband." I thought that was like a fun moment between both of them.
I did notice that he's really good with comic timing also.
Right.
You know?
Even Minnal Murali had so much of comedy.
Yeah.
Right.
He's really good at that. But talking about other things, man, like let's go from the start, how, first of all, that intro was really good to set it up. That, nothing can happen. Now we have technology, Kerala is all, nothing like this will ever happen again. And then we keep, building up to that event. I think the reporter and that even the Tamil guy didn't work that much. I think reporter there was nothing for her, honestly. I
know why, because it was about her brother, right?
Yeah, but they didn't even show the
Who was
brother.
always playing video games.
Yeah.
No, because his brother was always playing video games. So in the beginning, they show him as someone irresponsible, and then later on, when these volunteers come through the WhatsApp group, there's reporting that TikTok addict youth are coming to help out. So it's like it's a commentary on the youth.
Even later, father gets to know, right, that his son made that group and all.
He was the admin of the group.
Yeah.
So,
right.
For me, the reporter, the whole scene was just showing that some outsiders, the way they view Kerala. Like, that was just the way they were I think that was just the way of showing that. Like, he even says, oh, it's a Kerala car, let's just like hit it and go. Like, I think that was just a small way of showing. And it was also showing like his sort of, his sort of hatred towards the Kerala people because of the water dam issue and everything. And after that, they wanted to show that arc of him, like, being, him basically realizing that humanity is more important. That family is more important. It doesn't matter like whether you're a Malayali, whether you're from Tamil or you're from North. Like that family core, everything stays the same for everyone. So I think it was more of him realizing that, and it was okay. See, I told you that the whole arc for me, the moment the bombs came in, I was like, oh. But
I was wondering, like,
it was okay.
The whole Kerala is underwater. Like, now what will you do with the bombs? Like, what's the point?
Yeah. I mean, when they started, they didn't know, right? This was going to happen. Like, they even show the factory submerged in the end. Like,
yeah, they were happy, right? They go there and they're very happy.
Yeah, factory is already submerged, so it's fine.
But it was also ironic, right, for the people with the Tamil border, that they don't have water and all, and then Kerala got flooded for them to get water at the end. The rains and all. That was also kind of ironic.
It's all very complex issues, and they didn't really want to dive into it much. So they just very, very broad strokes. They just showed a little bit of that, So it was okay. It was fine. I thought it was all right.
Everyone should watch this film.
Definitely.
Okay.
Is the dubbed version out yet? Or?
No. I think they have given for censor. So maybe next 2 weeks. Yeah, next 2 weeks.
Because a lot of people have they don't want to watch it subs, especially from other states. So unless the dubbed version comes, only then I can push it to my friends and all who are
I hope the buzz keeps afloat. When the dubs come out, there is market, people are going to check it out. And just not die.
The buzz keeps afloat, pun intended, unintended.
And many other puns. But okay.
We need Taran Adarsh to review this. 4 out of 5 stars.
He's busy with some other story. Let's not go there. But again, they were I think for me the biggest goosebumps I got was the salute, when the salute comes in, and suddenly I was like, yeah, fine. I see where the story is going with this character, and when the salute happened, suddenly it hit me. And the emotions. Oh my god,
he salutes back. And you're like, oh man, it's such a good moment. And when he goes down, all the crowd is clapping for him. And I was like, oh.
And then there are videos, people are sharing and everything.
And he's so proud of himself, and that is really nice to see. True. He's not being very humble about it. He's like, hey, have you watched my video? Have you seen my video?
I mean, and I also noticed, because he was someone, he even said, no, he went from the army because he got scared. Because 2 people were killed. And that moment, he put his fear aside to help them. I
didn't see like that. I think why he ran away, not because he was a coward, but he didn't want to live that life. I'll just die this.
He even says it, I ran because I was scared.
Killed.
Yeah, no,
I was definitely scared.
Yeah, I'm saying that the implementation is not that he's scared of there'll be bullets and all. He's scared that I don't want to die. I just want to enjoy the life. I don't want to live that life of. He says a dialogue, right? That people don't know here what it's like to be at the border.
Yeah.
So I think there's a dialogue. The courage is not the absence of. No, wait, what?
Fear.
Yeah, absence of fear, but overcoming the fear. And I think it for him also, it was not that he was fear of something, but at the time come, he did. He did what he could.
But for me, that one dialogue where he said that, I really got scared because of those 2 people dying. And then, but when that moment came, he didn't even have a second thought. He literally signaled to the military. And even when he, in the end, right, when he goes to save the kid and even the Indrans character, there's not a moment where he's like, okay, should I dive in? He's just straight away going for it. So, it's for me, I don't know, that felt like a very nice sort of way for his character to progress.
Like the moment they show, right, they have left the blind guy behind. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
no,
Dude, that
something's gonna
Cletus'
happen.
character, like they said everyone's a hero. I'm like, except him. The guy who left him there, who came crying in the end to save his brother-in-law. I was like, except him, everyone is a hero. The actor did a great job.
But he also took to save his brother, right? That
Yeah.
I felt little like having seen Malan Kunj, that you can just take 4 guys and dig up and find your family. That felt little. Maybe it did happen in real life, but I'm like, only your family was stuck. There was no one else there. So these questions started coming in my mind. But when they go right and the phone dies, and I thought, okay, it's like
they're
they
dead.
lost, yeah. But then they go back again. Oh, they found it. So that
I am like, when the phone died, I'm like, just keep screaming. Like the sound, and at least maybe they might hear you. Like
then after that, there's a scene of them walking away from the landslide.
Yeah.
I thought maybe there'll be more people they saved, and they all are
Right.
coming back. But then it was just them. So okay,
I mean, there's only so much you can do. Like,
that's true. I think now it's just we're
there
just
is
nitpicking
lot
now.
of
Okay. Okay. Someone said something. I don't want to say it because I have no context about that. Water issue is the real problem between Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka. But being a movie, it is very difficult to include all the aspects. That's true.
you can't do it. It's way too complex of an issue.
And I
to
think
adapt.
the film does a very good job, at showing what a flood can do, Again, that, how's there's a couple, right, where the house get demolished in front of them.
Yeah,
They just start
man,
crying,
that was heartbreaking, man.
And then the whole arc with Asif Ali's and the girl he loves.
Dude, that actually happened. Like, there were so many people who didn't want to leave their houses because they were like, no, water will never enter. We'll go to the second floor. Like many, like there were new people, like who took their gas cylinders and everything up to the top floor. They're like, we'll stay here for
Yeah.
some days, and that sort of proudiness you can say of that person is like, I didn't build this 2-story house for us to go to
Yeah.
camp. So that full arc, and even when he goes on the boat, he says like this to Lal.
Yeah.
And Lal, he doesn't say, he's not like, I told you so, or something like that. He just points to God. And I
Yeah.
thought that was really nice. Like, he's like, it's all in God's hands. So that was a...
Dude, Lal's voice, dude, my God.
Oh, man. That dialogue he says to the priest, I saw the trailer after watching the movie, and they put that in a trailer. So he's like, this is not something which we have not seen in C. It's anyway better, like...
I actually mistook that dialogue when I reacted to the trailer.
Yeah, I saw your reaction
Yeah,
after that. I was
and
like, oh.
someone was like, "Dude, you don't get it." So I thought that they are showing people who are thinking, "Arey, it's nothing, it's just
Nothing,
flood and
yeah.
all." So they are saying it's the same. Nah, so I said it's not the same.
So these things are not easy to understand from
Yeah,
trailers. It's
yeah.
not your fault. Because they also keep it ambiguous purposefully.
I think they need to put like a re-edited trailer once they dub the movie and put that out there. Like, and that should be primarily aimed at people outside the states and make it in that, because the trailer was amazing. The trailer which they already have is amazing. Just re-edit some portions so that other state people also will understand.
People are talking about the foreigners and all. It's there for comedic relief. Maybe there were 2 scenes where I think my theater laughed with that character, but I don't think it was a comic relief. It didn't feel like that.
They were kind of trying to say, these idiot, this dumb tourist.
Yeah.
That kind of vibe, but his performance was way too over the top. Like, he was like, Karimi. Like, I was like, this is no. It just,
He was like, whatever little role I've got, I'll give it my full.
he looks very familiar also. I don't know from where I have seen him. Like, when I
See,
saw him,
I think these are very, there are a bunch of white actors they pick up and put in different films. Here and
probably.
there.
I think they were like, in at least Bollywood, they just go to the.
The same guy is playing a British, Russian, German, whatever you want.
It could have been a more grounded vlogger, like who saw this and maybe he's also like trying to do something that would have been maybe a little bit more better than like.
No, I think they were trying to do some comedy there. Otherwise, these characters wouldn't be like that. And Aju Varghese usually does comedic roles. So,
He's so good.
yeah,
He's so good.
yeah.
But I also loved how the film builds up till the interval. Like, so we see the story, Tovino with the girl and this and that and Asif Ali and what he's trying to do. And then, we'll get a shot of water still rising. Then we get a shot of a dam. Then they have opened the, thing. The rain is increasing. So you suddenly there's like a timer, the what do you call doomsday clock kind of.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's that's. I think they show the date, right? That honestly didn't mean anything to me because I don't remember the first date they showed.
Yeah,
also.
it was just the day where the floodgates was released, but they kind of surrounded the whole narrative around that. They were like 3 weeks before, and they established the whole thing, and then they brought it back to the interval point, which I thought was really smart because a lot of movies don't know when to put the right interval point.
I think first half is smaller than the second half, if I'm not wrong.
It is. First half was I think 1 hour, second half was 1.5 hours.
No.
Something around that time.
So my movie was at 4:45 and they take 10 minutes and all, right? And when interval happened, it was 5:50. So I think it is less than an hour. First half is less than an hour.
In the beginning, you also have
probably somewhat like that, yeah. Because I saw it second time. There was no, like it was a small theater, so there was no this thing. It started 5, and it was around like 6 when that first intermission happened.
Which is this theater, man?
It was near my house. That's why I went second time. I went there. I literally walked 3 kilometers. I'm like, I'll just walk in.
Don't say which house. They'll know. They'll come to your house.
I also walked 3 kilometers once to watch a movie. I think it was Shang-Chi.
Okay.
Oh.
Worth it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was fun.
Nothing that memorable, but it was.
Yeah.
Felt the character and story of Vineeth Sreenivasan is a little flat. Yeah, I think the moment they set it up, the ending of that narrative.
Yeah.
Oh, this will bring them together.
Dived too much into why the divorce was.
And then there was no time. There was no time.
Yeah, because they didn't dive. Like, we never got a proper grasp of the character. Like, we don't really know why
they were. It was basically a man trying to reach home.
Yeah.
Where there are some problems, so he doesn't really know how things will go. But it's not like he's. You are dying to see your family. That's why you're going. Everyone will be happy to see and jump on you and hug you. It's not that kind of situation. But yet he has to go, and he's hoping that things will be resolved. Also, especially because his mother had the accident. Right. It's about his journey.
For me, that Vineeth storyline was like directly complementing the Tamil guy storyline. Like, it was a made to be like, as you said, it's a guy trying to reach home, and in the other side, it's a guy just trying to get away from home almost. Like, who's not spending much time home. So it was that contrast they were trying to bring. And like, they were also showing that other side, there were people from like landslides happening on trains and people like, absolutely knowing how to get home. So they wanted to show that angle also, I think. But I think Vineeth's performance was pretty good. So it kind of brought over that. Like, both of their performance, even the Tamil actor's performance was really good, like in that scene. So it kind of worked in the end. But yeah, I do agree. It was, especially if you compare with the other storylines, this was something which was
like someone said in the chat that they could have like done away with it and nothing would have changed. But they are okay. They got it.
As I said, they really wanted to show at least some a view of the other state. So that's, I think, what his character was all about.
Because these characters did not have a direct, they were not directly affected by the water or whatever. Their houses were fine.
Yeah.
But it was like the environment is such, and how is it? Because even if they didn't get affected directly, they ended up as one family, both of them, because they saw what was going on with people around them, and that gave them time. It's like I would again like to compare with the COVID situation. Like, even if there are people who haven't lost anybody or any of their family members, they have seen people around them and understood the importance of being together and all. So I think it was that kind of angle, probably.
True.
Yeah.
Someone was saying that they were actually foreigners who were surfing in the floods and all. That's why they wanted to show that. But
they got surfboards.
Showing them was fine. It's more of their performance.
No, I think then you should have showed that there are foreigners who come here and they're just taking it lightly and just going in the water, and they're not taking it seriously. Whereas maybe Aju Varghese's character is taking it seriously.
It's an exotic experience for them. They'll go back and tell stories. They'll vlog about it. Yeah.
He was literally a blogger.
Famous vlogger from Poland.
I even typed like vlogger from Poland in 2018 Malayalam movie. I thought maybe something might come up, like, maybe inspired from this character. Nothing came up. Like, I couldn't it's obviously not exact people won't be there, right? But I wanted to know who the actor was, like, just to see.
Maybe not Poland, but some other country.
Yeah. So
I saw a picture of the actress with Tovino. I think she posted something, so I landed up on her handle, but I don't know about the guy.
Even that actress doesn't want to know.
I don't want to know much about him.
Vinayak says the foreigner guy was in Madhuraja Raja as Aju Varghese assistant. Later, Mamuka brought him to learn more English.
Oh.
Only Manoj can answer this.
Madhuri Raja was Mammootty's, but I don't even remember that movie properly.
I haven't even heard of it.
It was like, but Pokiri Raja's second, or something like that.
Someone said the reporter, there's a detail in the movie, after flood, reporter is not reporting, she is with her mother. That changed her a lot.
There was a
I
small
don't
arc
think
there.
that's what I took from that.
Oh, okay.
No, there was definitely a small arc there. I noticed that more when I watched it the second time. So, like, if you see initially in the hospital, like the mother is like there, and then the nurse even tells her, the news reporter, that, oh, we didn't see you for 2 days. So she's like, oh, I've been busy doing that. And then the nurse even says, oh, but the office is very close by, right? Then the mother says, no, she's busy because she's the chief editor and all that. And then she even says, no, I have to go now. I can't stay here. So, but in the end, you see the last scene where she's just, lying with her mom. Like,
priorities have changed.
They were trying to like build that, but it was not the most.
I think the whole summary of everything is like you end up prioritizing people, your near and dear ones, your family, friends, over everything else, your career, your ego, differences, whatever. So that was the whole point. Like even Asif Ali continues doing modeling, like his face is on a magazine, but he's also doing fishing,
Right.
So now he knows that he can manage both things. He's pursuing his dreams as well as being, obviously it made a lot of difference after the death of their father. So that also kind of sparked something in him. So I think the whole message was to, apart from the collective efforts of all the people for relief purposes, it was also about, you hold on to the people who are close to you, something like that.
True.
Yeah.
Which is a very important message.
Someone says Tovino's love story didn't work for me. I was little
Happened too quickly, too easily.
No, I was actually
so
thinking he doesn't have a job. He ran away from military. Then why is someone giving the daughter? There's no question what he does and everything.
He looks amazing.
even Asif Ali looks amazing.
Wait. He has a visa which is being
so
set to
that
go to
was
Dubai.
what my mind was thinking. Maybe he's going. So, but then I saw his house. Right, he's a big house.
Yeah, I mean, like
The house matters more than the boy.
Yeah. So I thought maybe they are the same level families. So I think it's fine.
They don't explore his family that much, if I remember correct. Like, so we have to like get from like what you said. Like you have to look at the house and be like, okay.
This is my mother, my father, my marriage broker.
That was funny. That was the only dialogue from the foreigner. He was like, "Hello, marriage broker," that I actually chuckled. Like the way he said, "Hello, marriage broker," that's the only line from the foreigner that I actually chuckled. So
the wife has a government job and a liberal family. Yeah, that's the guess.
And it's Tovino, he looks awesome. So
You're saying Asif Ali doesn't?
I didn't say anything about Asif Ali. What nonsense. See, Asif Ali also, the dad says, no, I have not said anything bad about the guy. I only said about, let him be independent by his own. So, even Asif Ali looks awesome. He just didn't go by the looks. He looked at the family also.
Did we never see that girl again, right?
I think in that boat.
In the boat only.
Yeah. Like that, that scene where he goes to check for the papers. So that scene, Asif Ali said during the shooting, there was actually a snake that went past him. Like, in the boat. And the crew members all were just like in shock and they didn't want to say anything to him. Like,
oh my! So that was a goosebump scene.
Oh,
that snake came out of nowhere, and I'm like, I don't know where this is scene going. The next shot is like the snake is on a suitcase and going away. I'm like, okay. I was expecting something else.
I was in Asif Ali's, but I would have been like, suck it, I'm leaving.
I was like, let the certificates go. You can get them again. Just go.
Yeah, you just tell her if you haven't stored them in the cloud, it's your fault.
Yeah.
it's not 2008.
I know. 2018. I think Asif Ali, he just took a few files and he gave them. He even tells her, "Don't look now. Go to the cam and only look."
I got all the files. That is such a Malayalam cinema moment, Like that is such a thing. I got all the files there. Just it is such a realistic thing, which most movies don't think about. Other movies, 2 files.
No,
I
that
saw which
girl,
one you
she
got
would
it.
have sat there and started opening the folders, I'm sure.
No, in
She was
other
like-
movies, like if that was a Bollywood movie, it would have been only 1 or 2 files. It would have been the exact
No.
files.
It would be 10 files, and the hero will be like, I know which one.
I know.
And he'll pick with the right one only.
Oh.
It's like cutting the wire for a bomb. This thing.
Okay, why makers are not releasing across India? They are, guys. They are. There's
Now it's many places abroad also. They are showing in
Abroad,
UK,
it's doing
Europe.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I think almost
That's
50% is coming
Australia.
from abroad. The collections, if I read correctly.
You didn't read correctly. There was a
like, I
real
think
incident with a volunteer who was killed by snake bite. Okay.
Yeah, there were many incidents like that where snakes, like people were seeing snakes in their houses and stuff.
So much of water, obviously snakes
Yeah.
would be there.
How was Kunchacko Boban? Someone asked.
Like I said, no, that for
That
me,
one scene did it for me.
that
Yeah.
highlight, where he just sees the TV and he's just eyes just even the end scene where he sees the corpses and he's like, oh, yeah, are they there? And then like that for me was really
That moment you also feel like we really hope he doesn't find them there.
good. And that was after Anoop died. Like after Anoop is like, so you are like, okay, now next casualty is his wife and kid. Like you're already in that.
No, they
stage.
have kind of played with our emotions so much, like one up, one down. You don't know which person. First that kid was going to die. He
Yeah.
didn't die. Then Anoop died. Then these people didn't die. Before that, Lal died. So you have all these.
No, even Indrans' character, like they were like showing, okay, maybe now he might die. Like they were like passing the baton, like who's going to and then like Anup's character, when the most unluckiest guy you thought who would actually die dies. That was. Oh. Man.
I think a lot for me did with the casting itself. Like now I've seen so many of their films. Like I knew so many of them. I think there was no, even that person I knew. It's something as some just very side characters which I am not sure I have seen them or not. But
No, but the faces are also familiar from some. Even if you don't know
and
the name.
that's one thing I didn't understand was I was so confused which mother is whose. If you show me pictures of Tovino's mother and this guy's mother, Vineeth's mother, I have no idea who's who.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I knew. So I'm wondering, people who not familiar with the faces, will they even able to differentiate between Tovino and Asif Ali? Because in the beginning.
No, because these characters keep coming up so many times.
Yeah.
So I think it will be
because
fine. After a
it's
few
we're
scenes.
cutting to like this character,
Yeah,
then
that
come
is
back, this character.
always a problem with films like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have
True.
also in the beginning, because a lot of Malayalam films are very multi-starrer. So what example can I take?
Virus.
Even in the
Virus is a good example.
by the time I watched Virus, I had already started watching a lot.
I think
But,
Nona had that issue, right? When you were watching Virus.
Yeah, Virus was my earlier film, so I actually didn't understand any of the big actors there.
Yeah, but there were some films like that. I think even with Guppy, because Guppy or Parava, all these films which have a lot of characters. But then you get used to it, and I recognize this face from that film. But what I also, because in Malayalam films I've seen, it's like the place becomes a character almost always in some way, and then okay, these many people live in this place and they have some interactions. It's kind of a group thing. So even like Sudani from Nigeria, films like this, and then it feels like the bunch of actors, they've been picked up from one film and put in another. It's like because
it's a small industry, right?
That
So everyone
happens
is
with the
pretty-
behind the scene. The cinematographer becomes the director, the editor becomes the cinematographer.
The associate producer,
The director becomes the writer. Like we keep hopping,
keeps changing,
passing the parcel.
And then in every Dilesh Potan film, you have Dilesh Potan.
He'll be directing. Dilesh was next film will be acting. Like he'll be like revolving like musical chairs kind of. So I think that's great.
I love that. It's a very community kind of vibe it gives you.
Yeah.
It's very collaborative.
One thing I want to talk about that you were saying, people who can like one way. I think maybe that's probably not the reason. But if you notice, Tovino's wardrobe in the entire film, it's always like a different variant of a check shirt. like if you notice from the start till the end, it's always a different variant of a check shirt. And Asif Ali's attire is always like a no collar t-shirt that he wears throughout the film. Like in the end, obviously he wears a fisherman. Like that's also like a no collar kind of. So I think
Because
they
he
have
also dressed up like a model.
they have put some attention to that so that people can. I mean, obviously Malayalis will be able to differentiate, but like that. I mean, I don't know if they did that.
Was it for
intentionally,
that
but
purpose? I don't think.
I don't think, but there is definitely that thread throughout.
Maybe
the,
some just visual
consistency
to
of
make
the
them different.
character. Yeah, consistency of the characters.
Of course, but their characters are very like maybe somewhat kind of happy-go-lucky characters, but I think there's a lot of difference between Asif Ali's, which I really enjoyed. Very different look. Mostly I see him very serious films. Whatever I've seen, I've not seen is very like I really like he's this guy on the bike and cannot act and this is funny fun very like a kid inside and like
he doesn't have that maturity yet. So which
I like that.
he was really Popeye. Like I don't know if you guys know this. I keep saying because I saw this interview. So that boat scene, right, where Asif Ali comes in. So initially they planned it like 3 or 4 people, and Asif Ali just comes and helps them lift the boat. But when they were shooting the behind the scenes, the people over there, like they brought some real fishermen. So they were telling them this is not possible. Like 3 or 4 people can't just lift one boat. So then he changed the scene. So that then it's like Asif Ali just comes in. It's just his hand coming in, and there are already 10-20 people there.
Yeah.
The boat.
That's what I was thinking. There are a lot of people put it.
Yeah. So they changed that scene a little bit there because the director was saying there's so many things like that. It was told to them while shooting that this is not how it is. This is how it would be. So that's why it brought some sense of realism to the movie.
Someone in the chat is saying Naveen Pauly had a scene, but they had to cut it out.
Yes. So that rocket bus, right? So this I read it somewhere that the starting one bus is there, right? Which comes to drop the kids. Like Tovino says, "Oh, the rocket bus is here."
Yeah.
Scene with Indrans. So that bus was supposed to make a grand comeback in the climax. Somewhere in the climax, where some people are trapped and they want to like escape from the water, and then this bus it comes scream like with all that noise, it comes and stops, and the driver would be Naveen Pauly. So that scene was apparently there, and he was like he wanted to have this mass scene, but then he felt like this movie didn't really need that.
I don't think that would have been a good idea.
Yeah, but like he thought that but I'm like so double-minded because it sounds amazing, like and to see Naveen in that.
And also it's a scene which would only work for Malayalam.
Yeah, that is also there. Like only Malayalam audiences. Like maybe
it will be like the scene in this Helen.
Yeah, Vineeth Sreenivasan.
Ending.
Yeah.
What?
Which Vineeth Sreenivasan.
Helen.
In Helen, Vineeth Sreenivasan is there, no? As the in the jail, in the prison.
I don't remember.
It's not Vineeth, dude.
It is Vineeth, man.
You kidding me? It's not Vineeth. No way. I would understand it's Vineeth. No. I think Hindi remake they made it Jackie Shroff.
You're talking about the guy in the jail, right?
Yeah, who comes out suddenly. No, dude.
Now you're making me nervous.
It's not Vineeth.
Someone in
let us know in the chat.
Please confirm.
It basically it would be that moment that suddenly I don't know where some
but yeah, that is what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
But maybe if they were put that scene, they would have maybe established it better, and it would not be just how we are saying it. But
it's Vineeth. What the hell? What?
I was going mad. I'm like, what?
Okay, I'm opening Netflix and watching that.
He produced the movie, right?
Oh.
Okay. But someone asked about the background music and songs.
It was amazing. I know some reviews are saying it's over the top, but I thought it was like perfect, man. Like it just amplified all those moments. Like that first moment where it really amplified was that fisherman scene, where he's saying, who's with me? And they just all start raising their hands up. And then for me, that was a little bit like the traffic scene, where he's like, who's going to drive the vehicle? I'm probably not seeing traffic. I don't want to make that comparison, but for me, that scene, the music really amplified that. And then when the trucks take the boat and everything, and I read some reviews saying that it's too over the top and it was not needed, but I thought it was great. I thought it really added that heroic punch to the entire movie, the music. And even the songs were all very good. The first half songs, all of them are actually very good songs. The normal, like, showing the life before the floods, it was all good songs. I thought. So I think overall the music was really good.
Yeah. I did feel, at moments...
And Nona's still in shock that Vineeth was in Helen.
that when music that moment where I think Lal sees his son, or there was some moment with the victory moment. They did something and the music, like it's like telling, feel something, feel, So I did feel that at certain moments.
I
but then
understand
again,
that. Yeah, I do acknowledge that, but still I thought it worked.
no, I think the subject matter is so. I think that's what, right? It's like also people who did all this, right, or people of the state who witnessed this. They feel seen. That was a victory. You are looking at it as a, not as a disaster, but as a what do you call it? Spectacle of humanity, like how people came together to save. It was not about what all went, what destruction that happened, and people who died and everything. It's not actually emphasizing on that. It's not saying how the government didn't do anything, or there were no safety things and this could have been better, that could have been better. It's not focusing on that. It's focusing on, okay, that was there, this established that, but look at how people came together.
I think like better film, like it's not like they didn't focus on the destruction. It was like I'm
saying it's not emphasis that see what happened, see the destruction happened. It's not that.
It is like in this destruction, all these heroes sort of emerged. Like people put their hands up together, so that itself is like a moment that will give you like goosebumps. Just when you hear the story, you'll get goosebumps. Fishermen came out and they were like, they risked their lives to save people, and so when you put that on screen, it automatically does give you goosebumps. But I think the music definitely was maybe a little tad over the top, but I loved it, man. I even asked you, right, to tell Tovino to release the OST.
Okay. Recently, director Fasil called Jude Anthony and told that this is the best Malayalam movie ever made. Jude humbly replied, "Sir, you are the man who made Manichitra Third." Okay. It's because this over-the-top approach for the film worked better than Virus for the general public. Yeah, I guess so. Virus is very I would say a superior film in a sense, but not like really comparing both. But because it's I think they try to focus on telling a very gritty, very like you feel scared.
More of a thriller.
Yeah, you feel scared. It's focusing on focusing on the storytelling. What I want to make people feel what people felt at this time. Whereas this is about I want to show you what lengths people went to save each other. I think that's a big difference.
I think Virus is a superior film, but I like 2018 more, if that makes any sense. Like it's like I would go and watch.
That makes sense.
I would watch 2018 again, but I would like Virus. Once I watched, I was like, great movie, but I don't want to watch it again with that kind of feeling I had. But 2018, I would definitely watch it again. Even like if you give me a ticket to go tomorrow, I'll again go watch it third time.
Yeah, that's true. Virus, I think you feel sense of relief when you finish Virus. Oh my god, it's so whereas this one, you just you appreciate. Yeah, you appreciate the moments.
Like I saw one critic comparing this to Titanic. Not saying that this is like James Cameron's like this, but it was, even Titanic was based on a disaster that happened, and they put a fictional story into it. So they were like one critic was like, this is kind of like Malayali's Titanic. Like where they took a real life disaster, but it's a more heroic. It's not a romantic story. It's a heroic story.
That's what I was pointing out with the other previous flood films also, right?
Right. They put a romantic story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Here they put a story of the people instead of that, which I think works much better. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and those movies, I feel like you need something to draw audience in, and whereas the event only was so big that's what they want to see. You don't have to set up something else altogether and then say, oh, this couple got stuck in the flood and now what? So the subject matter was again, enough. You don't need anything to add. And I think that's why I was sure Malayalam cinema would pull it off, because they're not someone who'll add a dance song and mass moments, because they'd feel it's not enough. We need to give the a song before interval, a song after interval.
I'm telling you, Bollywood relief camp pakka, there would have been an item song. Like in the relief camp.
Akshay Kumar would be there for sure.
The worst thing about that is true. It's not even a joke. Did you see this selfie?
No,
Remake
I
of
saw
Driving License. Yeah.
Why would I see selfie?
I haven't seen either of them. Which one should I watch?
Have you seen Ayappanam Koshiyam?
Koshi.
I think
AK,
I had
AK.
started it, but I didn't finish.
What's that?
Okay.
Like, that is like a better version and a more serious tone version of Driving License, basically. It's again like two people's ego clashing. That's the premise of both the films in a very basic layman term.
I cannot
But
remember.
Driving License came before and then they made that. So I think they learned their mistakes and they made it better. But yeah, talking about, the production, man, like they were like in the water and it's raining. For an hour, we stand out, we'll get tired, And
I was worrying all of them will get pneumonia.
yeah, I was like, they'll get ill, they'll get fever, and that's what I'm wondering for the actors, not the people in real life. I'm wondering about the actors, and then this whole there's so much. That's what I said in my review, that there's no cheap moment. There's no scene where they just sort of wide shot and then it's just close up, so just to things show and then the water assume. It's nothing like that. It's like so many people. It's a full town. It's all in water. It's keep rising. At this place, these characters are here and water rising. These characters are. So it's not cheap like, I can tell it's the same set. That this is house and then camera just turn and this is different house and you're seeing it's like very apart. So I think that's the thing I loved about it.
There was definitely a commitment to make it as genuine as possible. The floods and everything from a technical standpoint. I was thinking that, that especially that military rescue scene with the helicopters on top. There was wind, there was rain, I was like, oh my God, just standing below all of them, and just screaming and everything. Like, that would have been so.
I was feeling cold, looking at them just wet.
When I was out of the hall, I could still hear water. The water was somewhere in my brain. Like the downpour, the rain. But do they have some BTS videos on YouTube already?
They have not released it yet.
They will, I'm sure.
They will definitely release it. Like the director 2-3 times already said, we will be showing that in the BTS video. We'll be showing that in the BTS video. So I'm really excited to see that. Like so far, I saw one interview with the art director and they were explaining how they did different shots and everything like that. So all of that is very fascinating. Like they apparently constructed like a tank across like acres of land, and then inside that tank they had they built I think almost 19 houses, and each house could each house had 2-3 sit-outs, and they could keep changing it to match to what they wanted to do. And then the tree so that one shot of the tree falling down, that tree and the tree in the dam is the same tree. Like they made it with fiber or something like that, and they reused it and they made it bigger.
Damn, one felt like a CG. I don't know.
I think it was a combination of they had built the water one shaft and everything in practically, and the wide shot they sort of had CG to do the extension of the scene extension sort of thing. So it is very fascinating, and your mind sort of gets blown away just listening to this. And the art director said at one point they were like, all the technicians were like, okay, only after we finish this we'll do any other movie. And that commitment is something which he admires a lot, because see, they'll get paid the same. It's not like they'll get paid more for doing this film because they are working in such conditions. If they work in some other comfortable, normal setting film, they'll get paid the same. But there was that commitment to bring this to life. And I think that budgets, and it's not like a very small budget film, but by standards it's actually small if you compare it with Bollywood or Hollywood or anything like that. So that commitment to bring that genuine thing on screen, in spite of not getting paid as much or not having the biggest of budgets, and even the budgets apparently increased. Still, it's still, I think what I heard the highest figure I've heard is 27 crores. I've heard it's 20 to 27, somewhere in that range, which is still not at all high.
I googled it. It was some 15, 16 they were saying, excluding advertising.
This 27 is probably after promotions and everything like that. So that is still, I think that's what Minal Murali also cost. I think Minal
Minal was less, 18 or something.
Something like that. So for them to actually, use that budget, it just shows a commitment to making the best movie possible.
See, I'll compare it with Minal. Minal, there were some sequences, we were watching it. There were some sequences, now this doesn't look that good, there's some inconsistency. Whereas a film like this, they're doing practical, and the water, it doesn't feel like, oh, this set we saw before, it doesn't look the same. It feels like they redid it or something. No, it looks like a same day event. It looks like the consistency from the start to the end is just there. And I think it's not just about what number the budget is, it's the quality we got. It feels like it's a very big budget film. What they put. And I think that's a big thing to everyone.
Just one thing, I think for Minnal, it was like they were trying to make things that was not realistic. Here it was like trying to make realistic things. So it's maybe I don't want to say easier, because this is also like a daunting task. And sometimes to make it more realistic, it's more difficult because people will point errors directly. But I think that's kind of the difference in the approach, I think, between both the movies, I would say. But yeah man, like fantastic job, man. Like it makes me really proud seeing this on screen and being like, man, they actually pulled it out.
I think all of them should be like every department, sound, music, set design, costume, performances, like cinematography, in the interview they said the DOP was in the water.
Yeah, the director was also in the water.
Yeah, the director was also in the water, telling them this, that, he had this paper, he is sticking mark every scene that done. It's just thinking about that gives me, oh my God, how did they pull this off? I think that's what you need. You need that passion, and I think they took it like, we are telling something bigger than all of us. It's not,
You see that passion in Adipurush.
You just compare the
that's
budgets,
another,
Because we're talking about the budget, that's why I thought of it.
We'll open another Pandora box there.
Like I saw some memes, like the actor, whoever is playing Hanuman, is just doing this.
The kids used to do
While
that.
lying.
I think there's also a difference that the actors' remuneration in that budget is not very big in Malayalam.
Yeah.
Like I think
I
Tovino
think
said
half
this.
of the money they are investing in the remuneration of the actors in Bollywood.
Yeah, like more than half sometimes you think.
I think that's what happens, like when the filmmaking process becomes very corporate, where you have to pay certain people. Like it's like I have a project, I want freelance, I just want to get these people. Okay, this guy does really shoot well, so I have to pay him that much. This actor will bring me a lot of box office, so I have to pay him. And they all are just there, do their work, leave. They don't care about the, they want it to work well for them, so their portfolio becomes better. But they're fine if it doesn't, they don't care. They move on, they're getting more money for other
more
things.
of an
Here I think
individual
it's here it is like we all are coming together to make this film. It's not like Jude Anthony was like, Tovino, do this scene, like, yeah, I'll do this and I'll leave. No, he's like, okay, what else you want me to do? How else I can contribute, and everyone in the film. I think that's what makes the what the film is getting, it feels worthy. They deserved it, all the praise and all the box office, everything. And I hope this is just a start. It does take the triple R route and become something big, because it's worth it. It deserves that, and hopefully it will happen.
I think this seeing your both reaction, like I feel now more confident that other people also, like people even who only thing is that you guys are again familiar with Malayalam cinema, so it's fine. So I really want to know a reaction of someone who doesn't know anything about Malayalam cinema.
Actually,
the first
tried
one.
taking someone with me who's no idea about Malayalam cinema, but it didn't
Nolan?
happen. No.
Okay.
Him also, but someone else also, but yeah.
Like I want to see their reaction to this film, who doesn't know anything.
Second thing, I watched the film recently, 2 days back, because it's released now near me, in second week. Thank God.
Yeah.
I was like, God, no, I have to travel 80 kilometers. So it was, at least that was better. But I hope, now there's some other big film, or other film related to Kerala also doing so much business. So they will get more shows. But
It
I hope
also
this movie
rescued
also...
Kerala's box office also, because they were not doing too
Oh my
well.
God, I'm training. Dude, I'm everywhere. Not to, make
I saw that.
everyone
that.
is like, I made a video about the Kerala box office and everyone's using that clip and they're putting me next to Kamal Hassan. What happened to my Malayalam cinema? And then next to me, what that box office is failing? What is this? And everyone then 2018 pictures, promos, box office.
How dare you say that?
Dude, that clip, Nona even says, if this continues, we'll be only saying OTT movies coming in.
Yeah.
Then it cuts to 2018,
I'm like, I don't know how this happened, but suddenly I'm everywhere. Everyone making reel, I'm in memes. I'm saying
very well
end of
timed.
Kerala Malayalam cinema. Oh man, they are not smoking anything. If you know. Waiting for
Yeah.
the big films. I honestly wish they pay tribute to the guy who went down to become a human, step on water, so that really person can step on him to get in the boat.
Yeah. So there's one person who like went on force, and he was like almost acting like a step for people to like step and get on the boat. Like so that was like very iconic imagery that happened. So even I was expecting that. I thought one of the characters would be doing that, but I think it was like too much. They probably couldn't get to that because.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty iconic thing that happened.
You know, it also can be that they shot maybe. I'm sure there's a lot of unused
They
footage.
probably shot.
Maybe
Yeah,
they shot many things, but at the end, you want to make a film which feels seamless. You don't feel like,
many things were left
now
out
we
in
are
the
here
editing
to see
part.
this rescue. When the boats go, you don't want to see every house, every boat is going and what they are doing, right? You just want to
Yes,
show
better they did
the.
not think of it as like ticking off the box.
Yeah.
Okay, this happened, we show this done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Even I
what
think
happened.
the director Jude also had a cameo, but they cut that out. So they were definitely, and the Niven Poly thing was also cut. So I mean, but they didn't shoot that. I think the Niven Poly thing, but still, like they had many more ideas. I think, but there's only so much you can do in 150 minutes that ensures a cohesive narrative also. So
Yeah.
it kind of
Like
you
we're
can kind
already
of understand.
complaining, some characters didn't have
Yeah,
that, this
yeah,
and
yeah.
that, and so I think it's
See,
better.
it's a very good film. You nitpick and then you think, is it worth nitpicking? Things like that. Normal.
I think if we are sitting here for more than an hour now, I think that says a lot. Even if we had nitpicked
Yeah.
some things, people are asking 2018 of Kedarnath. I've not seen Kedarnath, so I cannot say.
I'm not thinking.
But
Kedarnath is good, but I mean, visual wise, I liked it a lot. Story wise, not so much, but it's a nice watch.
okay.
The songs are good. I know the songs.
Yeah, songs definitely.
Even in Chernobyl, they use fictional characters to represent groups. Okay.
That's how you have to do that, right? Because as I said, like in like Lals and that fisherman family, they represent like the fisher community in a
Yeah.
way, fisherman's community in a way. Like they show that life, and Asif Ali also, like that whole arc is maybe showing that he's proud to be a fisherman and like in the climax. And then even Anoop's character is kind of representing all those people that went out of their way to help people in need, even sacrificing their life. So I think each of these people are representing a large group of people that played an active role during the flood. So I think that's the most you can do. And I think that's the right approach to making this kind of a movie.
And that scene, right, when he calls his mother, Anoop, and they are actually preparing for the wedding and they are safe, I guess.
Yeah.
So I was actually thinking something will happen there. And then he's like, oh, I didn't even get to meet my family, whatever. But I didn't expect that. But when we cut back to what really happened to him,
Dude, that is heartbreaking, man. Like,
dude, his performance of losing it.
I know. Like, how did he do it?
Did they really drown him to get that scene?
So like when he did, like when he's like drowning and you see his breath go away,
And then
I'm
he
like,
just,
oh,
oh my god.
I'm like, then I thought, okay, maybe they cheated this, but then they go far and they keep going far, and you even see his leg stuck in the rock as they go far. I'm like, dude, how did they do this? Like it's so real. Like I'm like, is Tony even alive? Like someone get him up. Like
That's what I'm saying. Maybe literally drowned him. They got the scene and then they got him up and did that CPR whatever to
dude, that
get the
was
water out.
amazing, man. That was.
I'll ask him.
I'll ask him. You ask him, like, how did he do
You're
that?
friends with Tovino.
Friends.
literally see, like,
I'm in
bubbles going
touch, I
out.
would say. Let's not say friends.
Yeah,
You literally
ask
see
him and let
bubbles. You just see bubbles and his breath all going away. Like it's so. Oh man. So well done.
I think there's so much to talk, but I think we have to end it here. Like at the end, we're final parting thoughts. Let's do that.
After all this, you want us to say final parting thoughts?
Basundhara first.
I don't know. I'm still kind of in the theater after 24
It
hours.
stays with you,
also.
right? It stays
Yeah,
with you. Yeah.
I want to go again.
Yeah, I was completely immersed because
Yeah.
when I came up, first of all, people were clapping after the movie was over. Then when I was coming out of the hall, I was like, what are we doing in a mall right now? Why are people shopping and eating? Nothing makes sense. Something like, it's like, do they know what happened? This kind of feeling. So that says a lot, I think.
Yeah.
True.
Ah.
Like I watched
Thalumala
it
versus
twice.
2018? What?
You can't compare.
What is this
it's
comparison? How did this
too-
even come here? How did we
What I
reach this
didn't hear.
point in life?
Which one?
Thalumala or 2018? Maybe for
Thalumala is that
Tovino's performance.
fighting
Yeah.
movie, no?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fight
I
from
haven't
start
seen
to
it.
end.
Yeah.
It's
That makes-
very hard to compare.
How did this existence reached to this point, comparing these two films? No. Yeah, Manoj, final thoughts.
See, this was a film in a long time, and it got over. I was like, I'm watching it again. It has not happened in a while for me. I have not enjoyed a movie this much in theaters after a long time. I can't even remember the last time. Maybe I enjoyed a movie so much where I'm like, this I'm definitely going to watch again. And I even followed it. Sometimes I say that, but I don't follow it up. But I actually went also this weekend to watch it again. So I think that speaks volumes of how much I really like this movie and how much I feel like everyone should watch it, or at least give it a shot. And I really hope this becomes that pan-India success. I mean, not even... See, I just want as many people to watch it. Like all over the world, I just want more and more people to just watch it and give this a chance. That's all what I want for this movie.
Same thought,
I think it deserves everything that it's getting. It's not a perfect movie, obviously. I'm not saying it's a perfect movie, but it deserves all the recognition that it's getting. That's my thoughts.
Both Thalumala and 2018 have a water sequence for Tovino.
Thalumala.
This is like this pages making parallels.
I don't remember water scene. Anyways, I definitely want to watch this again Malayalam, and then when it comes on Hindi, I'll take my family to watch it. I'm not giving my final thoughts because I'll be making more videos and talking more about this film for a long time.
I have one question. Do you think they should get Bahubali? They got Karanjor, Dharma Productions to release it in Bollywood, right?
See,
so do you think they need someone like
that? The biggest example we have is Kantara.
Right.
The production houses was already become such big after KGF Chapter 2 that they were like the bigger, than any other they would have gotten.
I think when Bahubali came also, people were not watching South Indian movies so much like they do now, right?
Yeah.
That time Bahubali was a big thing, or Rajnikant Indiran was a big thing. So
True.
now things are very different. So I think people would watch it anyway. They don't need a
promoter
patronizing hand on that.
But I think a promoter will definitely help. But yeah, I don't know if anyone even would do it from Bollywood side or something. But I was just wondering that.
Thank you for that idea. I'll make a video about that. That's what I do. I steal ideas from my audience.
What was the idea?
I'm not saying anything.
I'm not going to make any video.
See some reviews pointing out the movie had many cliches like the pregnant lady scene. I know who we are talking about. Which reviewer you're talking about.
Bharadwaj Rangan.
We like to say the name. But only we Mallus know the situation shown were real.
See,
yeah.
that is thing, huh? Because I not only that review, I saw many reviews saying that, and I'm like, yes. But the thing is, there was really a pregnant lady. There was really fisher folks that came together. All of these things happen. So when
the cliches happen in real life, so what can they do?
So when it happened, you can't fault the film to create writing and characters around that, because it happens. So you had people who, as I said before, that we are rich, water will not enter our houses, we don't need to go to relief. You had many people like that. So it makes sense to build the narrative around that rather than not doing that. So as you said, cliches happen in real life. So it's okay to build on that.
But guys, that's it from us. That was our spoiler discussion of the Malayalam film 2018. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, do like, share, subscribe, comment below. Check both of them out. I've put the links in the description. Manoj is doing great on Twitter with his RCB tweets, and Vasundhara with Gangs of Sinapur. I think every director knows about the channel, and they get excited.
One you should
Maybe they know internally, they don't follow me.
So definitely check both of them out, and again, I hope you had a good time listening to the discussion.
Actually, one thing, just yesterday when I went to watch the movie, some guy recognized me outside the hall and came and talked to me.
See,
what more do you need?
And I have to say that she's not very she posts pictures of herself sometimes, I guess, but you're not very on social media. Your face is not out there that everyone would know. So I think even after that, if someone recognizes you, that says a lot about her work. So definitely check her out. Hidayam is okay. Let's not get into that. Thank you for watching. See you. Bye bye.
Bye.
समझते हैं Hidayam is mediocre.